the presentation. Hijacking Earth.
As long as evil villains reveal their plans, you can count on Geico saving folks money. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more.
Now this piece depicts the legend of Liz LaRue. During a huge battle, when there were cannons and explosions and flying wood chunks, one-eyed Liza made a fateful decision. But what she had in courage, she lacked in depth perception. She was never seen again. Well, except for this picture.
Joe.
Grant.
Grant?
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
Joe.
Joe. Nice to meet you.
Good to see you again. Yeah, I was at your place 2 weeks ago.
Oh, nice.
The regional. Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, sometimes I'll give you, like, you know, a little touch, like when he's crowding that plate. I just don't want to get pinched out and miss that, you know, inside corner pitch, looking through him. Have a good one.
Go, Joe Burleson getting to know Grant Cook. Brings the olive branch with him in Omaha. A couple of weeks ago, he didn't introduce himself, but he does here at the World Series.
Didn't have a mic on that. Sounds better now.
You don't remember me?
Another SEC-dominated College World Series field. Later at the #1 overall seed and the defending champion Florida, the Gators will be on the field as well. At 7 o'clock Eastern time tonight for Game 2. And it won't be easy. The side of the bracket, given the national seeds that got through: Texas Tech, Arkansas, Texas, tough side of the bracket. And of course the Gators. That's later tonight. Back here with Laura Rutledge, Kyle Peterson, Eduardo Perez, Carl Ravitch. Head to the second inning. Blaine Knight 1-2-3 in the first, including a strikeout of Cody Clemens. And that brings up Zach Zubia, the designated hitter. And he's got that slider working. We've seen a lot of it here in the first inning plus.
It's usually the one he has the most confidence in. That slow breaking ball, he'll try to steal a strike early, usually won't finish guys off with. That one he'll throw whenever. Ahead in the count, behind in the count, or to try to finish somebody off.
11 home runs on the season for Zubia.
No.
Appeal to first, no swing.
I think this at-bat will be a good indication to see how that slider is working, because Zubia is very patient at the plate. 46 walks on the season. See that on-base percentage over 400. Very patient. Usually doesn't chase.
Fastball, two-seamer. Gets the piece of the corner. And Zubia in a 1-2 hole. Zubia was with Pierce when Pierce was the head man at Tulane. He's a transfer. Throws that slider again, and Zubia delivers as he sends a single past Jax Figures at short.
Guys, we've talked about Blaine Knight's intensity on the mound and maybe the chip he has on his shoulder at this point, but he's a completely around the boat just to block it in. Just trying to get to him, get under his skin a little bit. Blaine was still salty about it when he got here.
Thanks, Laura. DJ Petrinsky now up. He rips one deep to left field, high as well. Back goes Kerstad right at the wall, and that's where he makes the catch. And he throws it back in. DJ Petrinsky, the catcher, gave it a ride. And if the bullpen wall wasn't extended by 5 feet relative to the rest of the wall, that's a home run.
Heston really had a tough time picking up this ball. Watch him in left field. Look at contact. He has yet to move. He didn't see the ball until that ball was past the infield. Fortunate for him, it was elevated enough he could still get back on time. Might be an indication also for the infielders how tough it is with the background during the day here.
First baseman Jake McKenzie, the senior out of Dallas, Texas, steps in with one out. We got to go back to what Laura said about Knight, because the idea that we have a truck pulling our own boat, I'm a little. Come on, I don't remember that.
It's a beautiful thing.
He hasn't been to Fayetteville, has
no,
he?
That's a beautiful thing.
I've been to college.
You wouldn't even blink.
Yeah.
I've been to college, though. We had trucks and boats.
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Really?
He does.
He does.
And the fishing pole.
Keep it simple. Hunt, fish, throw sliders.
Make money. Make lots of money. Heck, the way the Orioles are going, he could be pitching in the major leagues, in a couple of months.
I think this is a kid, too, when he gets into his system, he's going to put some weight on. And as he matures, when he's 24, 25, 26, the velo is going to get a little bit better, and he's going to hold it a little bit longer. Changeup's got to grow, which it will when he gets into pro ball, but the slider plays at any level right now. And again, if you can throw Friday nights in that league, and Buck Showalter has talked about this, how they've seen guys that have got into the professional level pitching against that type of competition in the environments that they do. Don't worry about them as much when you get to the big league level.
Another good one on the corner, 1-2. Buck Showalter, the Orioles manager, knows a thing or two about SEC baseball and Mississippi State.
Yep.
Buck Showalter just knows baseball. He's familiar with the SEC, and he's big into that whole scouting part of it, too. With the Orioles, you kind of have to be. Identify talent and get them up as quick as you can and make them be productive. Talk about the juggling of the batting order. McKenzie, who was hitting in the 6th spot today, hit 9th in the Supers. When he did that, he's got a great disposition about hitting 9th. He just considers himself the number 3 hole hitter. So I'm not going to bat 3rd. I'm not going to bat 6th. I'll go 9.
He's got to wait a little longer. I like that.
I love it. Valuable lesson for everybody about how to make your circumstances work for you. You hit 9th? No, I'm the 3rd 3-hole hitter.
Man.
You know baseball?
I'm just patient.
Well, on May 1st, he was hitting 192. And ever since, raised that average to 246.
Jake's an engineering major. He already has a job lined up in San Antonio when the school season and this season ends. So he's in good shape. Runner going on a hit and run to 3rd base. The only play is to 1st. A low rolling throw and a good play by Casey Martin. Figuring I can't throw it all the way over there. I'll just get it there.
When this Arkansas coaching staff talks about Casey Martin, the power there, the speed is there, but he's somebody they think ultimately can move to the middle of the diamond. He's adjusted to 3rd base well and knows he's got enough time. I got no problem with this throw either. It's on line. You give your first baseman plenty of time to adjust to it. A lot better chance that first baseman's going to make that play as opposed to airmailing it right over the top of his head. And I like the move by David Pierce. 3-2-1 out, you put the runner in motion. And you're counting on McKenzie in that spot just in putting it in play, making sure that you stay out of the double play, but staying aggressive offensively.
Mason Hibbler, left fielder, first time up today. A 6-foot, 190-pound junior out of Cypress, Texas. And he can hit one deep as well. 4 homers on the season. Eddie, your first baseman, you like that play from your 3rd baseman?
Love it.
I did too.
It's more like a ground ball. You can put yourself in a position, in a backhand position. You don't have to worry about that ball sailing on you. Usually, ball sails into the runner.
And there was clear intent. I'm throwing this thing hard and I'm throwing it down.
Yep.
1-1. Mason Hibbler, one of the 3 junior college kids on this team. He had one offer out of high school. It was to Odessa, and that was it. He's a guy that just will say, let me play. I don't care where I play, who I'm playing, what I'm playing. I just want to play.
And where he's playing is not exactly where he thought he would be playing. Was expected to be the 2nd baseman after some defensive shifting. Cody Clemens ends up going to 2nd. Hibbler hadn't played the outfield. He's done just fine in left, and they really like him in the lineup. Let's see it again. 3 pitches, 3 sliders. The 2nd of the 3 in the middle that he threw for a ball kind of flattened it out, looked more like a cutter. We bet we'll see it one more time.
The view from Umcam. He went, and he's gone. Knight strikes out another. He works around a leadoff single to Zach Zubia. Arkansas's got a 1-0 lead as we head to the bottom of the second. Hook 'em horns.
The NCAA College World Series is presented by the Capital One Venture Card. Earn unlimited double miles on every purchase every day. What's in your wallet? And in part by Pennzoil. Make the switch to Pennzoil Synthetics today. And Hotels.com. You do you and get rewarded.
A high-performance car like this, when pushed to the limit, won't settle for anything less than Pennzoil Synthetics. Designed to give you complete protection for top engine performance. Pennzoil Synthetics. Make the switch.
Experience Control GX for Men, the first shampoo with a brain. So smart, it reduces gray gradually. The more you shampoo, the less gray you have. How smart is that? Gradually reduce gray with Control GX shampoo from Just for Men.
Captain Obvious, and Hotels.com rewards me basically everywhere. So why am I stomping grapes with aerobics enthusiasts near this B&B? Because Hotels.com lets me do me. Foot juice. Hotels.com. You do you and get rewarded.
When you're America's best value, who needs balloons? Amateur.
Get 0% APR for 66 months plus $1,500 on select Sorrento and Optima models.
Dude, are you friends with a real robot?
No, man. It's my service.
Maybe you should switch to a more reliable network.
Switch to Boost's super reliable and super fast nationwide network and get 3 lines for $100 a month, each with unlimited gigs and 20 gigs of mobile hotspot on each line.
Welcome back, everyone. College World Series, and Omaha, Nebraska, not only the home to the College World Series, you see a lot of kids around as well. Todd Blackledge, son Owen in town.
Love it.
Owen, a big baseball player himself. Todd, a big baseball fan, decided to come to the College World Series, the mecca of college baseball in Omaha. And they're enjoying a few days here. Delighted to see Todd and his son ripped. Ouch! Clemens knocked it down. Now we're going to see if he's okay. You can see right away he had a reaction to that ball that caught part of his right hand. Hit on the nose by Jared Gates.
Yeah, this one was barreled. Top of the zone. Hits him right off the throwing hand. Watch his reaction right here. This one eats him up. This should be scored a hit.
It was.
Where do you go on that one, Eddie? I mean, there's not a whole lot you do.
No, there isn't much you can do.
I mean, you just hope you either, get lucky and block it up and it goes right in front of you, but there's not enough time to read a hop go one way or the other because Gates covered that one.
And here's Grant Cook, the catcher, number 8. In the lineup for Arkansas, second consecutive inning. Their leadoff guy has gotten on. We'll see if they can move Gates around like they did Eric Cole. Gates over there with a lead at first. Gates, an interesting story this season for Dave Van Horn. That's down. Gates started the season like a house of fire, and then he cooled off and had some hamstring issues to deal with. And Dave Van Horn basically went up to him prior to the SEC tournament and said, look, how do you think your senior year's going? He said, not so great. He said, well, I'm going to play you every day the rest of the season. You're in the lineup, don't even look. And that seems to have turned things around for Gates, who's back to doing what he did in the beginning of the year and hitting the ball. We're going to get him to second base. We'll see. Obviously, the balk has been called against Millen Kingham. And home plate umpire Joe Burleson was right on it. Called time immediately. You could hear it.
And in the first inning, you could hear all the Razorbacks always all yelling, hey, that's a balk, that's a balk, that's a balk. He didn't come to a stop.
I thought he did there.
There, he did come to a stop.
Yeah, I don't know what else the call could be. I mean, it's the only thing that you could go back and balk him for there. But I thought that was absolutely fine.
Cook, center field. Tate Shaw there. We'll see Gates tag. And that balk allows him to get into third base. So that's a big play and a big call. We should take another look at it, see if there's something else that shows up other than he didn't stop.
Well, the discipline of Cook right there on a 2-0 count to drive the ball to center field towards right to move the runner over to third is huge for the Razorbacks.
And Rav, I don't know what else it could be.
No, I didn't see anything else
It
either.
has to be that they were saying that he did not stop.
The entire bottom half of the first inning, they were chirping from that dugout. Make him stop, make him stop.
I mean, if nothing else, it gets it in the mind of the 4 guys wearing blue out there.
Jax Biggers, and this is going to be playable. Shortstop is over there. Hamilton makes the play, and you cannot advance on that shallow fly out into foul territory. So 2 down and a big out. Back to the top of the order, and Eric Cole, the right fielder, the second base. He had a double and scored his first time up. Left center field.
And it was off a 2-seamer that was up in the zone. Remember, when he gets in trouble, what he likes to do, and that's playing night, go to that slider against lefties. We saw it against Cody Clemens. This is Nolan Keegan.
He'll do it too, though.
Yeah, he'll do it too.
He'll do it too.
.94 miles an hour. He humped it up a little bit.
Stay there. Stay there. See the hands of Cole right there fighting to get the barrel out in front and catch a fastball in front of him. You saw the swing path of Eric Cole last time, and it was built to drive the ball to left center field. Part of that is because you think you're going to get that 2-seamer from Kingham that moves away. If he can execute that one, fastball in, that's a pretty good spot right now.
Another one at 93. Yep, did get away a little bit. I think the other thing you got to keep an eye on, too, is what impact, if any, that ball off of Clemens' hand had with regards to his hitting. He was shaking his right hand immediately after he took that ball off of it. So that's something you don't know right now, and you got to keep an eye on. One-two on the way. Slider, filthy. He's gone. It was caught in the air. No runs come in. They strand one at third. Shaw, Reynolds, and Hamilton do up as we continue enjoying a Father's Day here in Omaha at the College World Series. Throw that strike. Beauty.
The road to national championships runs through NCAA.com and the NCAA Sports app. And whether you follow one college team or all of them, it's never been easier to get the content you want all in one place. With live broadcasts of multiple championships across all divisions. With exclusive access.
Ready to go?
And highlights for every single championship. Stay in the game all season long with NCAA.com and the NCAA Sports app.
Get ready for an all-new Auto Trader. Search with all-new speed. Shop with all-new control. Now with the power of Kelley Blue Book Price Advisor on Auto Trader. Shop all the cars like never before with the all-new Auto Trader.
Nobody drinks till this guy sweats.
Degree Advanced Protection works up to 100 degrees, but be careful, it won't let you down.
Dad, I love you, I miss you, and happy Father's Day.
Thanks for everything you did to me, all the times you went out in the cage, threw to me late nights, all the long trips we took for baseball. If it wasn't for that, I want to be playing in Omaha today.
I love him so much, and that he's the reason why I'm here today.
Thoughts of some of the players with regards to their fathers and the impact that they had on them, especially with regards to baseball, and so many fathers and sons. A lot of young boys around and some old boys enjoying baseball, protecting from the sun. It is a gorgeous day, but we'll take all the help we can get. Top of the third. Knight continues to pump in strikes. That one misses. A good vantage point up there.
That's always a good view. Spin the hat backwards, go for a ride.
Life is good. Yeah. Backdoor slider in there for a strike to Tate Shaw, the center fielder, the junior out of Austin, Texas, 5'11", $190. Got a football background in him. Not your typical center fielder. Doesn't have a ton of great speed, but another one of those grinded out throwback type personalities. Got to have on your team. That slider's working again for Knight, back to back.
I'll tell you what, too, and Texas isn't to the second time in the lineup yet, but I'll be interested to see if they don't just sit on that one, because you know you're going to get 1 or 2 in every at bat. That's the way that it's been for Blaine Knight. That is his best pitch today, without a doubt.
It really has been. I'm curious to see if they're going to change the pattern the second time around the lineup.
Yeah.
And that's one thing that's made him successful. It's the not being predictable. Friday night starter in the SEC, and you know this really well. This guy knows how to battle and grind.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, you go 16 to 17 starts, 3 earned runs or less. That's consistency.
Covered that one. He had known that might be coming.
The most important, I think, an interesting thing about him is he knows how to pitch to the score, where a lot of young pitchers don't. He will be polished enough at the next level, at least in the minor league level, to understand what the score is. And if he gives up a home run, so be it, depending if it's a solo shot or not.
Yeah, there's a great list. Mize, the #1 overall pick, beat him. Singer went 18. Ryan Rollison 22nd. Jackson Kowar, he beat them all. And he wasn't selected until the 3rd round. And I guess if you were to sort of look at just the numbers, just the resume and the numbers, the one that kind of jumps out at you is the 18 home runs that he's allowed. But you bring that up to anybody on the Arkansas staff, and they'll be like, yeah, but we tell him to pitch to contact because we're winning a lot, 5-1, 6-2. We'll take a solo homer than getting some traffic on the bases. And that may be, look, they're spinning it that way, but that may be a little bit of a misleading number, the 18 home runs.
14 are solos.
Exactly. They don't usually kill you.
I think that's the key pitch right there, too. He's able to throw inside, up and in, get the chase there. Then usually he follows that up with a slider.
Going to be in the major leagues. You're going to have some eyes on you, some cameras, some microphones. 2-2. This one, right center, is going to hold up. I don't think so. Fletcher going back. No chance for him to get that. And Tate Shaw is going to hit second and go to third, and he is in there with a triple. 2-strike bomb to straightaway center field.
Kyle, from my observation and all the sliders that Tate Shaw saw, he was on them. Fouled a couple of them. This one stays up a little bit, catches it out front, and drives it into the right center field gap.
It felt as the at-bat went on, he was more comfortable with it, just missed it in a double down the right field line early, and then that one catches enough of it. Really, it does go right into that left-handed swing path. If he times it up right, which he did right there, and that one drove right through the wind.
5th triple of the season, and the first triple allowed by Knight this year. So a man on third, nobody out for Ryan Reynolds. Yep, that is the name, Ryan Reynolds. He's the third baseman and looks at a ball outside. A lot of lefties in this Longhorn lineup.
Son of Shane Reynolds, former major leaguer.
Reynolds has gone through a variety of, am I a switch hitter or am I not a switch hitter? Kind of moments.
He gets a hit here, he's going to stick to being a lefty.
That one just misses in the count, 2-0. Hit 6 most of the year, and he went to David Pierce said, I'm not going to hit from the left side anymore. And David's like, no, you really should. If it's going to make you more marketable, it's a really valuable asset. So they stuck with it, and he wasn't having success. Then he went back to him and said, I'm not going to do it. And they said, all right, well, we can always bring it back in the summer, whatnot. Last fall, he decided just not comfortable. Then he comes back and says, I want to do it again. And this is going to get a run in on that slow roller at infield, sacrificed, and the game is tied at 1. So he's kind of bought back into hitting from the left side, and we got ourselves a new ball game.
It works. Sure. And that's just like a safety right there, and it's a pretty good job of Blaine Knight too to take the right route, go straight towards first base. If you don't glove it, that route's going to take you there. Still enough time to turn around, potentially take the flip from Gates. Tate Shaw saw that ball was not hit hard. Nobody was going to get to it quick. He comes in easy to score the first run. Leadoff triple. Horns tied up.
Second time now through the order. David Hamilton, leadoff hitter, popped out to the third baseman his first time up. Again, these two teams met back in March, and Arkansas kind of dominated those two. They actually had their Saturday night guy available in Casey Murphy. Texas was coming off of a big series. They didn't have those arms, and they were blitzed. They will tell you, both teams, how different they in fact are. Both obviously have had huge success since that series.
I did one of those, and there was no comparison.
Right.
I mean, Arkansas was by far the best team on the field. Texas looked like a team that they were trying to figure out who exactly they were, and they've been a different team since that point. 33-12 since that Arkansas series.
They've just come from a 4-game set against Stanford. All of a sudden go to Arkansas, play 2.
2-1 on the way to Hamilton, right down the middle, 2-2. I love it. I feel like I'm in a doctor's office. We got Kyle up here. He got the stopwatch in the hand. I just feel like we're just over at a baseball game.
I want to get him down to first.
Yeah.
I want to get him. He can really run now. Really run.
So you want a ground ball in the hole right now?
I do. Yep.
3-2. He can really run. He has 31 stolen bases on the season. Consider the opponent, Arkansas, has 39 as a team. Hamilton's got 31 of Texas's 78 steals. So they can run, and here he goes down to first. Expect him to be moving.
Well, he's not shy on going. He's had 38 attempts, been caught 7 times. He'll steal both second and third if he has that green light.
Duke Ellis, Cody Clemens in the on-deck circle. Ellis hit one to left field. Pace of the game slowed a little bit, and it probably will even more so with Hamilton on base.
Well, he's going to go. It's going to be with Ellis at the plate. With Cody Clemens, I just don't see him going and taking the bat out of his hands.
Ball. Guys, we saw Cody Clemens get hit by that pitch in the field earlier in this game. Obviously, you see him holding the bat. The athletic trainer tells me he's okay, but it did sting him pretty bad. Maybe just something to watch. Looks like a few times he's even still shaking that hand out.
Yeah, thank you, Laura. Hard hit ball that bounced off his right hand as he went to get in front of it. Didn't touch the glove. It just hit directly off his bare hand. Runner not going, and that pitch misses again. And you can just see the impact, Kyle. You know this of having a speedy base runner on the bases, on the pace and on the pitcher.
It is not a comfortable feeling when you're out there as a guy at first, and it's not because he's absolutely going to steal second. It's because you have to think about it. So your times to home plate are a little bit different. You're slide stepping, so that front leg's not coming all the way up because you want to make sure you're quick enough to home plate. And that creates inconsistency. It's not comfortable, which is exactly what the base runner wants when he's standing on first base.
Wes Johnston, who's in his second season as a very highly respected pitching coach, goes out to the mound.
I don't think you do it 2-0, but Duke Ellis is probably your ideal hit and run guy on this club. He's a guy that really can use the left side of the field. You think you're probably going to get something you can handle with a 2-0 counter.
I get it. I'd rather see a straight steal 2-0. I just think he's going to be so focused on throwing a strike. You used to see the great ones steal bases. Even Roberto Alomar always told me 2-0 is my favorite count to go on. Pitchers get so focused on making sure they throw a strike in the spot that they want that they tend to forget about the runner.
And they're probably a little bit slower to home plate.
Right.
Yeah.
The College World Series Finals begin Monday, June 25th at 7 on ESPN.
They almost go hand in hand, though. If the pitcher is so intent on throwing a strike, it's probably not the worst time to hit and run because you're going to get a good pitch to hit.
True.
Again, Hamilton at first, 31 stolen bases on the season. Takes the same length lead that he's been taking the first 2 pitches. And he goes. And hit and run was on. Late swing, popped up straight to left field. And now for the second time, Cody Clemens comes up to face Mr. Knight, who was asked about what he would do facing Clemens.
I'm going to pitch at him. I'm not scared of him. I don't care if he's got 24 jacks in the ear or whatever it is. I mean, yeah, the guy can hit, but he's still got to hit my pitch. You know, if I make a mistake, yeah, he's going to hit it, but I don't plan on making a mistake.
All right, you like that attitude? Right? I mean, you got to love that attitude.
Love the attitude.
Absolutely.
What else you got to say? I'm afraid of him?
Not bad. You know what I like? You know who likes that attitude is the Baltimore Orioles.
I think he's going to pitch for a while, guys. I really, really do. And I mean, you can see 20 pounds on Blaine Knight's body pretty easily, which when you get into pro ball, that's what allows you to get all the way through the season, carry that velocity as he gets older.
Make sure you have a lake somewhere so you can go fishing.
Yep.
Oh, he'll find one.
Get the truck and the boat. Clemens struck out. Saw a boatload of sliders his first time up. It's an interesting position, too, that Pierce is in here, because you don't necessarily want to steal second and create an obvious walk opportunity for Clemens, but you do that. You get down to second base. You're in scoring position, and Zubia got a hit following Clemens. Trying to get in the scoring position, or are you waiting with Clemens' bat?
I stay right there. You're in scoring position with the 24 home runs that Cody Clemens has, 72 RBI. You're in perfect position.
Center field and right at Dominic Fletcher, who took a couple of steps in. He hit it good. The hand looks like it's okay. And we got 2, 3, 4 coming up for the Razorbacks. 2.5 in the books in Omaha.
A hammock for 2.5. But they can relax. They got an unbeatable price on a suite with an extra bed. No one looks out for you like Travelocity. With price match guarantee, you'll always wander wisely.
I don't feel hungry. I don't feel stuffed.
I don't feel guilty. I still look buff.
Fresh flavor, feel-good food. Sabra hummus, the unofficial meal.
I just had Sabra hummus and now I feel good.
Papa John's presents 2 pizzas, 3 7s, 2 Pew Large 1-topping pizzas for just $7.77 each. Those 7s got me dreaming. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's.
When you're crafting performance, no measure is too extreme. The Lexus High Performance line. Experience amazing at your Lexus dealer.
I need a new phone.
Aww. You two should get the new iPhone.
And you deserve to get it on the best network, Verizon. And I deserve to be the ring bearer. Oh, sorry.
Switch now. Buy the latest iPhone and get iPhone 8 on us. Only on Verizon.
Maybe they're secret agents posing as an ordinary couple, or maybe
basketball is making a difference for players of all ages.
Through education and training,
They're helping to make the game
You know what I am?
I'm a pitcher.
I'm a striker.
I'm a point guard.
I'm a linebacker.
I'm a setter.
Shortstop.
High jumper.
Wrestler.
Defender.
Goalie.
Student.
Student athletes.
That's who we are.
Salute a lot! Thy armour was forged by a feeble-fingered peasant woman. Your mum!
As long as hecklers love to heckle, you can count on Geico saving folks money. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more.
Huge personality.
He was the greatest. He was the greatest. I mean, the wins speak for themselves. All-time wins leader until earlier this year when Mike Martin surpassed him. But one of the most unique and thought-provoking people you could ever be around. He looked at this game so different than most.
Passed away in March. Suddenly, at the age of 79, the winningest coach in baseball history until Mike Martin passed him. He was the coach of Texas from '97 to 2016. Had almost 2,000 victories over 5 decades. Appeared in the College World Series 15 times. Won 5 titles, 2 of those at Texas. And there are the numbers. And there's that face and that smile that you get so accustomed to. Cal State Fullerton, 3 of the titles. Fourth inning's been a big inning for Texas. They've outscored their opponents 50-22. That's a plus 28 margin. And Zubia gets into one to right field. It sends Cole back onto the track. And boy, maybe next week that one will leave the yard, man. That was hit pretty hard.
And there's some good power numbers in this ball game. Nobody has more raw power than this guy right here. And I know it's just 11 home runs over the course of the season for Zubia, but the reality is it comes off his bat different than anybody else, and he didn't even get this one. And even with the wind, it took Cole just shy of the base of the wall.
That's pretty impressive. Wind's blowing straight from right to left. Hit it to the warning track. I didn't think a ball would be able to reach the warning track with this wind.
Yeah. This guy hit one on the warning track. DJ Petrinsky, the catcher the first time up to left field. They had a choice here with their catcher situation. They had Michael McCann back there, who is now the backup, and really wanted to give some credit to McCann for his acceptance of his role and his contributions to the development of Petrinsky behind the plate.
He didn't have to. I mean, Michael McCann caught a ton last year, about half the innings for Texas. DJ Petrinsky over the course of the season beat him out, and really has been a big part of this club offensively and defensively. And Michael McCann has taken on the role of helping him in any way that he possibly can, the role of an ideal teammate. That's not easy to do when you get beat out.
Longhorn team 18 times have had to come back to win a game this season. They trailed this one 1-0 after the first and have now knotted it up. They lost their first game in the Super Regionals, and they were the only team at the College World Series that lost their first game in the Supers. To end the bat, Clemens charges, and he throws him out. Check that, Carson Shaddy for the second out. Hey, for more coverage of this World Series and interactive brackets, we invite you to go to NCAA.com. You can find all sorts of information out about this College World Series. Teams that are in it, players, the personalities. Omaha, Nebraska. And what you'd expect with regards to the temperatures, yesterday was at about 100, and the crowd started feeling it. You could tell because the stands, people started to take cover in the shade.
They kind of tapped out about the sixth.
The sixth inning.
We'll see you. We'll see you in a while.
I think the challenge for the fans yesterday, I mean, literally the first 3 innings took 2 hours yesterday. Carolina and Oregon State in what was not a clean game by Oregon State. Or Luke Heimlich on the mound with the hit batters. He had 3 of those. They made a handful of errors. So the fans kind of let you know. I mean, that's what the fans' prerogative is. They can let you know any which way. We're not going to stay for this one. We're kind of checked out.
Section 135 is the place to be right now.
135's got it figured out today. Shade coming from the scoreboard. That feels just fine.
They'll shift with the sun.
Then we'll go to 134.
Yeah. 34 of the 37 College World Series champions, the last 34 of the 37 all won their first game. And McKenzie's ahead 3-0.
Strike.
3-1.
Not quite.
Did you ask that question much of umpires? I think he asks as far as it goes.
I was taught by Bobby Gritch when I was in AA to never ask, but to tell. That pitch was an inch inside. That pitch was half an inch inside. Let the umpire know that you know the zone.
How was that received?
Actually, very good.
Was it?
It was very good. One time I got called down on a strike 3 and pitch was right down the middle. I looked back and I said, that pitch is right down the middle. Can't you miss it for once? And he looked at me and was like, that's funny. I was like, okay, yeah.
Yes, it was.
What it is. It's like you have to miss it once in a while. Let's go.
Did any of the umps ever said, no, that's 2 inches inside? They ever say, no, Eddie, you're close?
No, it was actually a strike.
Right.
I missed it.
How about that? From 3-0 to 3-3. And when the right-hand column's got the 3, you're going back to the dugout with a strikeout.
At Exxon and Mobil, we're ridiculous about being meticulous. Right down to Synergy gasoline. Meticulously designed to help give you better gas mileage. Maybe it's because we're obsessive. Or maybe it's because we care.
Exxon and Mobil Fuels. Energy lives here.
How do you win at business? Stay at La Quinta, where we're changing with contemporary makeovers. Then use the ultimate power handshake, the upper hander with a double palm grab. Who has the upper hand now? Start winning today. Book now at LQ.com.
Chris Bryant is a young cub. I am a young cub too. So I like Chris Bryant. He's a strong cub. He's a fun cub. He's a good cub. He's my favorite cub. And the Cardinals are my favorite rival. I need to get to this game to support a fellow cub. Can someone point me to St. Louis? Sunday Night Baseball, Cubs Cardinals tonight at 8 on ESPN. Telecast presented by Taco Bell.
There are over 480,000 college athletes. Only 2% would go pro.
That means over 470,000 will not get a shoe contract. No autographs. No private jets. No fan clubs. No Hall of Fame inductions. Instead, they will walk away with something much more valuable.
These two teams sweated it out to get to this point.
30 years since we went scoreless through 8 innings.
Stage is set for some Bulldog magic. Back goes the right fielder. He can't get it! Mississippi State walks it off. Luke Alexander comes through.
Nothing amounts to hitting a walk-off in Omaha.
Bulldogs have done that a few times, and they have been outstanding here in the NCAA tournament, winning another walk-off variety last night. 1-0. And boy, Mr. Demers from Washington pitched himself an unbelievable game. My goodness, efficient and effective for 7 innings. They took him out. And finally, there was a blink moment. Mississippi State knocked off the Huskies, who now get a little showdown with Oregon State tomorrow in an elimination game. Carson Shaddy, 6th position today in the order, and a step back by the third baseman who throws across the diamond to get Shaddy. Ryan Reynolds has been solid over there at third base, and just one man up, one man down.
It's impressive because moving their feet is a key for them. Let's not forget the Longhorns. They play on artificial surface back in Austin. So when they make the transition to natural grass infield, it's always a challenge. You have to be able to keep your feet moving.
Where's your head, man? You got meat on your mind? What do you got?
Maybe a little bit.
He's back in left field. He's back in left field at Baum Stadium. That's where he is.
Yeah.
He's out at the grills again.
Yeah.
It's a great point because you brought it up again to David Pierce. You talked about it perhaps affecting Oregon State, not suggesting that's the cause, but you did bring up the idea that when you get on dirt or natural grass, it's just a different feel. And when you come here, for sure it's a different feel than your turf fields. What are the challenges for the teams that play half their games on turf?
You can get lazy. As an infielder, you can get comfortable. It's a true hop. When you're on a dirt infield, you have to be able to read the bounce well, be on your toes, expect the unexpected, but it's all in the footwork.
Nolan Kingham's feeling pretty good right now. Slider on that side of the plate when he wants it has really good depth. The fastball has as much movement as we've seen the entire day. He's used the changeup more than he does at times. This wouldn't be a bad time to go back to it.
Gates got him the first time with a single. He ended up on third. There was a balk called against Kingham, but he was stranded there at third base as Kingham struck out the leadoff man Eric Cole for the third out in the second inning.
Here you go.
Tried another breaking ball, and now it's a full count, 3-2.
He shook the changeup to get to it. Changeup was the first one that DJ Petrinsky put down right there. He shook the changeup to go back to the breaking ball. It's now 3-2 count. Let's see where Kingham goes here. Probably just back to that two-seamer and let that natural run take over.
When Jack Spiggers and this guy started hitting, that's when this team took off, and that's another hit. Cut off out there in left field, and a good decision to put the brakes on quickly by Jared Gates, because Hibbler did a heck of a job to get over and cut that thing off before it got by him and held him to a single.
Tried to go fastball, was trying to go in, and instead it leaked back out. Jared Gates now 2 for 2 on the day, just went right with that movement. Mason Hibbler's a converted left fielder. He was a second baseman until this year, but got over in time, had that right foot set, got the throw into Hamilton in plenty of time. But I still like the turn by Gates because you force that first throw to be quick and online. If it's not, he's got enough time to be standing on second.
All 6 of the Arkansas hits so far against Kingham have all come from the left-handed batters. Gates is 2 for 2. And the first pitch to Grant Cook misses away. Kerstad's got 2 hits. Gates has 2 hits.
Last time Cook had a really nice at-bat. Took it to 2-0 and drove one into center field to move the runner over to third.
Guys, Arkansas this year coming to the College World Series, Carson Shaddy said, we're here to win it, and we're not making any excuses. If that doesn't happen, we're going to be very disappointed. He said, when we came in 2015, we were honestly just happy to be here. We thought that was the accomplishment, getting to Omaha. We had kind of run out of gas from a pitching standpoint. This is different for them. And they feel like this is their opportunity to get a little bit of revenge factor from what happened in 2015, where they felt like they didn't perform the way that they wanted to with the jerseys on their bodies.
Oregon State's kind of said the same thing about last year's performance, and then yesterday they just didn't play well at all. It's one thing to say, it's another thing to do it, and it's not easy. This Arkansas team, though, has played Texas, Texas Tech, Florida, and went 5-2 against those teams this season. So they've beaten them all right near the dugout, and it's going to get in to the screen that covers the dugout. It's always an interesting conversation, and to hear players say, well, the first time we were here, we were just happy to be here, which sort of comes in hindsight, because when you're here the first time, you don't really realize that you're just happy to be here. You believe you're going to be competitive and win. And yet in hindsight, you're like, well, maybe our attitude or our actions didn't necessarily fall in line with a team that was trying to win, but they were trying to win.
Oh, without a doubt, yeah.
Center field, Cook hits it there. Shaw catches it there. 2 down. You know what I mean?
Well, and I think some of that this year is they're a top 5 team to start the season. I mean, when you looked at this going into the year, you go, okay, Blaine Knight's got a chance to beat anybody. Casey Murphy's turned into an outstanding second guy over the course of the weekend, but the offense was, I mean, undeniable. You knew the offense was going to be there. And that's something they've been able to carry all the way through the season. See the difference today, though. Lefties in this lineup, and today there's 5 of them have all 6 of the hits.
Maybe it's a reflection of the team's expectations, to your point. I mean, how many times did Florida knock on the door? Finally, they broke through. This year, they would be disappointed if they don't win it. They're not happy to be here because of the expectation. We're #1 all year. We know what we're capable of, which is to win it. I think Arkansas has those similar expectations. That hardly means that Washington doesn't have those expectations. Maybe reality sometimes gets in the way.
Doubt.
Sometimes doubt
in the course of it.
Some of the goals are different. The messages they get in the fall. We're here to get to Omaha. Some teams are like, we're not satisfied just getting to Omaha.
Right. 1-1 to Jax Biggers, the shortstop, swing and a miss. 1-2.
Jax Biggers just a few weeks ago going to bunt had that left index finger wrapped all the way around the barrel, broke it. It was not attractive. I mean, split it right down the middle, a bunch of stitches. He's now been back for a little bit of time. Talking to Dave Van Horn, he's like, he breaks his finger, he comes back, he's a better hitter. I mean, even with that finger that is still not fully healed, Biggers has done a real good job offensively for him.
Just out. You too.
If somebody told you you had a bat like that with a finger like that, would you be able to do it?
Yeah. And the reason being is now he doesn't have to use that top hand as much. He doesn't roll over as much. He uses the big part of the field. Doesn't cut off his swing.
That is strike 3. Carlson rings him up. Another good inning. When we come back, Dave Van Horn has been here, knows all about Omaha. He'll join Laura as we continue. 1-1 through 4.
Introducing the new Jaguar E-Pace. For great offers, visit your local Jaguar retailer today.
Applebee's 2 for $20 now with steak. Now that's eating good in the neighborhood.
I'm Captain Obvious, and Hotels.com rewards me basically everywhere. So why am I doing goat yoga at this mountain resort? Because Hotels.com lets me do me. Ah, the smell of goat. Hotels.com. You do you and get rewarded.
You're watching the College World Series presented by Capital One. Arkansas head coach Dave Van Horn here with us. And, Coach, you've had opportunities against Kingham. What else can you do to get something going offensively?
Well, we just need to come up with a big hit. You know, we've taken some good swings, but you've got to give him credit. He's pitched really well with runners in scoring position and kept us all balanced, popped us up, struck us out. You know, it's just about putting a couple, 3 good at-bats back-to-back together.
Yeah, it feels like this stage is built for Blaine Knight, or he's built for it. What has he shown you so far?
You know, he's competing hard. He hadn't had his best command, but a lot of times he picks it up about 70 pitches, so he's right at that. Hopefully he'll take off from here.
All right, thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Thank you, Laura, with Dave Van Horn, coach here at Arkansas. What do you got there? Oh, like a strawberry tower?
Fruit on a stick. Still fruit.
Well, a little insight into the way that Dave Van Horn was thinking about his pitcher, Blaine Knight. Gets to be about that 70 pitch mark, and having spent the season with a dude that's 12-0, finds another gear right around this point. He's got 7, 8, 9 to deal with. And as we start the top of the 5th inning of this College World Series, first game for both teams.
Yep.
Strike one, 90 miles an hour. Opponent's batting .226 against him. He throws them all. Fastball, 2-seam, 4-seam. On this Father's Day, we know that Mr. Van Horn's got his 2 daughters here with him. They're enjoying the game. A little lemon ice going down, trying to keep cool. A lot of red and a lot of burnt orange in the stands today. A little high on that one.
1-2 now, 1-2.
'87th overall pick is where he was selected in the draft. Blaine Knight by the Orioles.
Go ahead.
Hibbler asked for time and he's granted it. '72nd College World Series in Texas, has been in 36 of them. I mean, how hard is that? That's
pretty amazing.
Doesn't make sense.
No.
Think about the great teams. That's the one thing. You always look at that wall out there in left field over the bullpen with the logos of the college that are here, and you just say to yourself, wait a minute, think about who's not here. You could have the Cardinal up there. Stanford's not up there.
Yeah.
Vanderbilt, of course, lost in the game 3. There were how many? 6 game 3s in the Super Regionals this year?
6 of them. Yeah.
6 game 3s.
4 games on Monday.
Gotcha.
Auburn fought the Gators hard in Super Regional.
Yeah, you had a good one, Eddie. You had a really good one. I think to your point, though, Rav, it's a lot harder to get here now. I mean, if you go back 30 years ago, it was still tough to get here. Don't get me wrong, but the national commitment to the game just wasn't there. It is now, and that's why we see more depth in this field. Still, the power players are going to show up. It's not as easy to show up as consistently as Texas has.
It is the greatest show on dirt.
Yeah.
A couple years ago, Coastal Carolina. Last year, the Gators. Who will it be this year? On the ground, hard hit to short. Knocked down out there by Biggers, but that was going to be a tough play from the get-go. And Hibbler is on.
I don't think Biggers knew which way to go on this. Watch the jump right here. Goes to his backhand, but then goes down thinking he has to slide with it. I don't think he needed to do that. He needed to stay up on his feet instead of dropping to his sliding position. Made him lose his balance a little bit. Made that play a little bit more harder than what it should have been.
Yeah, I agree. It looked like he was a little bit confused when he was going down to get it. He stays on his feet right there. That play's a lot easier. It's still not easy, but it's a lot easier to glove it. A much better chance to make that throw.
They give him a hit on that third hit of the game for the Longhorns. And now Tate Shaw, who ripped a triple his first time up and scored the only run of the game for Texas. And this time he lays down a bunt. It's a good one. Traveling with the ball and throwing late was Casey Martin. It looked like he took 2 extra steps, and that allowed Shaw to get down to first and beat it out for an infield hit.
Now, 2 interesting things go on this play. First, off the mound, he's going towards first, but right here, you see him take that extra step to be able to throw the ball. Martin gets that extra pat, didn't have a good grip on the baseball, and a good hustle right there by Cole, beats it out.
He ended up making that throw about 10 feet into fair territory.
Yeah.
I mean, it's how far ultimately he had to go, and started about even with it. The break was okay, and if the ball gets out of his glove right away on a clean transfer, they're going to throw Shaw out at first base, but the extra 2 steps just gave enough time.
Grind time for Blaine Knight. 2 men on. Number 9 hitter Reynolds up.
Oh, he's already bunting. He's moved up big time on the plate already. That part of the fundamentals is already set. See him move up even more.
You know, I don't like squaring that early. And I don't like it for one reason, because there's no movement. I mean, you sit static for a minute, and then you got to move again. And I think there's more of a propensity to jab at it or to let that barrel drop than an athletic move when you go into bunting.
I agree with you 100%. But what I do like is that he's already up in the box.
Agree there.
That part I like.
He's only got 1 sacrifice this season.
It's hard to be athletic when you're static, and this is still an athletic move.
Bunts it foul. Big spot in this game with Texas and Arkansas tied 1-1. First 2 men on. Hibbler with a single. Shaw with an infield bunt single. Top of the order, Hamilton on deck after Ryan Reynolds.
Watch the positioning of where he is preset. Hands are down low, the head is way up. Just think about when you play pool at home. When you play billiards, do you have your head way up while you're trying to hit the ball? No, you have to have it down eye level. He has to do the same thing. Bad positioning there. Tough to bunt. From that positioning, it is very difficult to be consistent in the bunting game.
And that's why if I'm David Pierce and I see those first 2 attempts, I take it off here. I mean, he does not look comfortable doing it at all. Reynolds only has 1 sack bunt the whole year. Texas has 48 as a club, so they do it a fair amount. He just has not been asked to or hasn't been consistent at it over the course of the year. Now I think you let him swing it.
Son of Shane Reynolds, Ryan Reynolds.
He's up in the box again, though, guys.
He gets it down. And the throw to the inside part of the bag, covered over there by Carson Shaddy. So Reynolds with 2 strikes, able to execute the sacrifice.
Did him a favor throwing him a breaking pitch up like that.
Yes, absolutely.
Watch right here, still jabs at it. I mean, the fundamentals are not great. The execution, though, was exactly what Texas needed.
Ended up a great bunt.
Yeah.
I mean, if you had just seen the move, you wouldn't have necessarily thought it would have ended up there, but it ended up doing his job.
He has to be all smiles right now with that.
Speedster David Hamilton, he's at the plate. He's another guy that will certainly be used in a variety of ways. And if Gates stays equal with the bag, you could certainly see a drag bunt.
And all that being said, the wind has died down.
Cole Ramage warming up in the Arkansas bullpen. So just at the same time that Dave Van Horn thought that Knight might find another gear, he's got the bullpen active. To Eddie's point, the wind is now just down to 3 miles an hour in. Hamilton high and fairly deep into right center field. Fletcher and Cole are there. Right fielder Cole gets it. Tagging from third is Hibbler. 2-1 Longhorns as the ball comes into the glove of Blaine Knight. David Hamilton drives in the second run of the game for Texas, and up to third base goes Tate Shaw.
Talked to David Pierce about David Hamilton. The one thing that they said is we'd like him to get it out of the air a little bit more. Like him to hit it on the ground a little bit, but not here. Not here. You're okay with the ball getting in the air right here. Wind's down, that ball plenty deep to right center, and Texas has their first lead of the ball game.
Hear him say, good job, D. Ham, for David Hamilton. Here's Duke Ellis. With Shaw 90 feet away down there at third base. Ball one. Body language on Blaine Knight's a little different this inning, too.
He's running away from that slider a little bit, too. That front shoulder's flying open. No way that you can finish that pitch unless you really follow that front shoulder. But this guy has the most trust of any starter by far on this Arkansas staff, so they're going to give him the chance to find it.
1-1.
You guys notice against Mason Hibbler, the leadoff hitter of this inning, the tempo slowed down big time. Nobody on. He was really quick. But with Hibbler, between pitches, took a lot of time. 6 pitches on that at bat.
Cody Clemens is in the on-deck circle for Texas.
Back here.
For 2 today. He struck out in the first on a nasty slider. Hit it well in the third inning to center field, but was retired. You'd much prefer to have, if you're Arkansas, obviously Clemens come up with nobody on than 2 men on. One-two to Ellis. Got him. Strike 3. Good pitch by Blaine Knight. Strands a runner at third. And Clemens doesn't get a chance to swing. He heads back to the dugout. We head to a break. 1, 2, and 3. Cole Martin and Kerstead coming up as Blaine Knight gets the job done there.
A hammock for 2 and a half. But they can relax. They got an unbeatable price on a suite with an extra bed. No one looks out for you like Travelocity. With price match guarantee, you'll always wander wisely.
We got something borrowed, something blue. We still need something old.
I could use my phone.
Or mine.
You need the new iPhone, and you deserve it on the best network, Verizon.
The camera's amazing.
And now you can get a great deal at Verizon. And I deserve to be the ring bearer. Well, I can see that position's already filled.
It's time to switch to Verizon. Buy the latest iPhone and get iPhone 8 on us. Plus, get the best unlimited starting at $40 per line for 4 lines. Because unlimited is only as good as the network it's on.
Maybe they're secret agents posing as an ordinary couple. Or maybe they're just an ordinary couple. Either way, this room came at an unbeatable price. No one looks out for you like Travelocity. With price match guarantee, you'll always wander wisely.
With the first pick in the NBA draft,
he's the alpha male in this draft.
Well, I like that they're dreaming big.
I like the pick. I like his potential.
The kid can play.
Do you have the first pick?
It's a pretty easy one. DeAndre Ayton, it's Luka Doncic, who's lived up to the hype.
What is this, velvet?
He's got what it takes to be a great NBA player, and I think he will be.
The NBA Draft on ESPN.
Dyken on the ground. He'll come home with it. Rivera tags Robertson. Boom! Lippett with the bases loaded. Deacon Lippett makes it 5-1 Florida. On the ground to second. And the Gators get their first College World Series championship. Coming up tonight, the defending champions, the Gators of Florida, have spent much of the season ranked #1 in the country. They'll take on Texas Tech, 7 Eastern time on ESPN2. They try to join South Carolina, the last team to go back-to-back. And Miami as the last overall 1 seed back in 1999 to win the College World Series. Won't be easy for the Gators, but the expectations have been sky high all season, and they have maintained it. A little bump in the road late. And that's been about it. Lifted to left field. And just shy of the track. 1 pitch, 1 out for Nolan Kingham.
The question tonight, I haven't seen either way, is whether J.J. Schwartz will play for Florida. Hasn't played the last few weeks. I know, Eddie, you were down there last week.
I don't see it.
Kept hearing closer, but not yet.
Well, he wants to.
Oh, yeah.
For the people at home, tell them what the injury is.
Well, he has a broken hand. Hit by pitch. And he's been out ever since. Tried to stay in there, but to no avail. And the problem is he really can't grip the baseball yet.
Right. I mean, you would think it would have to be only in a DH role.
But then you have Nelson Maldonado as a DH.
Exactly.
And he's a good one.
For Texas Tech, too, you're going to see one of the premier offenses in the country right there, too. Josh Young's